What do each of the 16 personality types find unattractive? What's gonna keep them away? What's gonna make them go, ew? But not in a good way. Not like OOH, but more like EWW. It's important to know because if you're trying to attract someone to you for whatever reason, they're your crush, or maybe you just want to get to know them better as a friend, you want to make sure that you're not doing things that will repel them. Or this video could be very helpful if you're trying to get someone to not like you. Man, I really wish Jimmy would leave me alone, and I know he's this type, let me do this thing. Enough dilly-dallying, my chunky monkeys, let's get into it. Did Frank just call me a chunky monkey? ESTPs usually have a good eye for what is in or cool, K-E-W-L. They understand trends, how to accessorize, and in general, the fact that their appearance is reflecting their social status. So something that can be really unattractive to ESTPs is someone who makes them look less cool or attractive by association. Hey, that's that thing you say, Frank. Basically, don't cramp their style. So if you show up to a party as an ESTP's +1 wearing pajamas while they're dressed to impress, they'll disown you faster than you can say faux pas. That's right, I'm throwing French terminology at you. The energetic ESFP is always looking for the next adventure, and they can feel really dragged down by anything that might stop those adventures, like work, life, or responsibilities. Not saying they're irresponsible, just saying they don't want to put responsibilities first and foremost. They're the type of person that would rather jump out of a plane than do their taxes, with or without a parachute. Frank, who does their taxes with a parachute? Because of this, they tend to find individuals who live for the 9-to-5 grind and never let loose to be buzzkills. This isn't to say that you can't be work-focused or professional, but if you never set aside time to have a good time, or even worse, if you criticize the ESFP for wanting to have fun, they'll be out the door before you can say TGIF. Thank goodness I'm watching Frank James. Probably the most organized of the 16 types, the ISTJ likes everything to be in order. They're the type of people who alphabetize their canned goods and color code their socks. As such, they're not going to be attracted to individuals who are carelessly messy or unorganized, with an emphasis on carelessly. So, like if you're someone who can get a little messy, and I mean like who doesn't, am I right? But then you clean it up, it won't be a problem. But if you let things stay unorganized forever, or you're the type of person who only cleans up once in a blue moon, you're gonna find the ISTJs wanting to get away from you with great speed. ISFJs like their friendships and relationships to be personal and even sentimental, valuing the experiences and memories they create. They're the type of people who take a million pictures and save every ticket stub. This leads them to be the type most likely to stop and smell the roses, to enjoy things instead of just rushing through them. As such, ISFJs are going to feel less appreciated by individuals who either try to rush them through such moments or who don't respect their appreciation for it. You don't have to be sentimental like the ISFJ. You just have to acknowledge that it's okay for them to be that way. Because if they feel like you're rushing them through life, they're gonna peace out. ESTJs love to give advice, even if it isn't always the most appreciated by everyone around them. They're the type of people who always jump in no matter what you're doing and correct you if you're doing it wrong. If you have a problem, an ESTJ likely has a solution for you, and that solution is generally gonna be straightforward and by the books. The right way to do it. They're not gonna lead you astray. So what is unattractive to ESTJs is someone who consistently struggles despite the ESTJ giving them the right way to fix the problem. Especially if you were just like outright ignoring their advice. To be attractive to ESTJs, you need to be able to take advice and criticism without feeling personally attacked. And if you want extra points, you want little brownie points, give them an even better solution they didn't even know existed. I mean, when you can. I don't expect you to come up with something every time. At that point, you just come across like a know-it-all. Known for their ambition and desire to achieve, ENTJs find themselves pushing for greater and greater heights. They're the type of people who won't settle for anything less than the championship, metaphorically. While they might recognize that not everyone around them is as competitive as they are, they're still gonna be less attracted to individuals who don't believe that they have the capability to achieve their goals. To ENTJs, no goal is out of reach with effort, and one of their goals in life is often being able to speak correctly and inspiring that same mental attitude in other people. Yes, ENTJs are competitive, but they also want you to win as well. So if someone is unable to adopt at least some desire to grow or develop some go-getterness, an ENTJ is not going to want to be around them for long. ESFJs are like the party planners of the personality world. They're always ensuring that everything runs smoothly and that that traditions are upheld. They're the type of people who make sure the cake is cut at the right time and that everyone's having a good time. I said time twice in a sentence, and that kind of annoys me. This leads ESFJs to find individuals who consistently go against the grain, especially if they do so without reason, unattractive. While a rebel with a good cause might be okay in the ESFJ's eyes, someone who causes problems for the group with no good reason is gonna quickly push an ESFJ away. As the type most focused on the future of people, ENFJs spend a lot of time trying to do good in their friend circles and larger communities. It is very common for them to stand up for the little guy or to go out of their way to help someone in need. As such, ENFJs are going to feel less attracted towards people who don't ever show a selfless side. Like if you're the type of person to scoff at a homeless person who's asking for some change, it's not going to be a good look with the ENFJ. We can all be selfish from time to time, but ENFJs like it when you at the very least acknowledge those moments of selfishness and then try to do a little bit better. ISFPs live life through the lens of passion, what motivates and inspires them. They're always looking for the next thing to ignite the flame within their hearts and get them excited, whether it's art, writing, a personal obsession or interest, or anything they feel strongly about. What ISFPs find unattractive are those who aren't able to appreciate the intensity or importance of their passion. It's like if an ISFP came to you with a painting they made and they told you they poured their heart and soul into it, and you respond with, "Oh, that's cute," they will lose interest in you faster than something that's real fast. There's often a very clear line between good and bad and right and wrong for INFPs, and they spend a lot of time refining what they think is aligned with those values. They're the type of people who will fight for their beliefs like they're a superhero in a movie. So if you're the type of person who's morally flexible and doesn't have any convictions, or if you happen to hold beliefs that directly conflict with the INFPs, don't expect them to be your partner in crime. They will see you as a villain and want to keep their distance. ISTPs are known for their hands-on intelligence and their ability to jump right into new tasks and learn as they go. To them, learning through action is easy, and it's their preferred way of gaining knowledge. They're like MacGyver. They can fix anything with a paperclip and a rubber band. No one in my audience knows who MacGyver is. ISTPs won't likely be attracted to individuals who don't have any hands-on abilities, or at the very least, people who won't even try to learn by doing. It's like, what do you mean you can't change a tire? Well, have you ever tried? If your answer is no, especially if you're like, and I don't ever want to try, their patience for helping you is gonna evaporate. The INTPs can be one of the harder types to get closer to and attract. INTPs aren't terribly concerned with social norms, and oftentimes they're actually pushing back against those norms just to test the boundaries. So what INTPs find unattractive in others is someone who expects them to act in specific ways just because it's normal or socially acceptable. INTPs want to be their cerebral and eccentric selves, and constant pressure to act otherwise is a quick way to push an INTP away. Of all the types, the ENFP is probably the quickest when it comes to how they approach their interests and hobbies. They're the type of people who will pick up a new instrument, start a new business, and write a book all in the same month. This leads them to be a type that doesn't necessarily feel like they're on a particular path in the conventional sense. Their path is where their heart takes them. They're blazing their own path as they go. Thus, they can find people who only have one focus in life, or even worse, people who try to force them to only have one focus, bothersome. They don't like one-trick ponies, people. ENFPs, they're like wild birds. They need to be able to be free and fly, not locked in a cage of your lies. I don't even know. ENTPs like to take risks, especially in the realm of creativity, like a new project, a startup business, a new skill to learn. All of these are right up the ENTP's alley. This is especially noticeable to others because ENTPs don't always stick with their projects for too long, because to them, they don't want to feel married to every idea they have, and instead, they see each of them as a different toy in their sandbox. Oh, I have one idea, this is cool, I can drop it and go to another one. Oh, maybe I'll go back to this one later, I don't know. This leads ENTPs to be less interested in people who are very risk averse, and especially people who won't even humor their sometimes off the wall ideas. Like, you don't have to invest in their new tech startup, but just show a general interest in it and give them some moral support along the way. It just takes a little bit. INTJ INTJs are notable for their long-term plans and the often abstract goals associated with them. They spend many hours thinking plans out in their mind, but very little time formally mapping things out. So when it comes time to share their insights, they have to go through a lot of work to make those things make sense to others. Introverted intuition, man, it doesn't make a lot of sense to other people. It's like it makes sense up here, but then when it comes out here, doesn't really make sense. This makes INTJs less drawn to people who aren't able to see the value in their insights from the very early stages. Say, for example, an INTJ wants to start a business that to most people would seem risky, but behind the scenes, the INTJ has an entire plan figured out with a backup plan if it falls through, and it's like, this is ready to go. To an INTJ, there's a level of trust that needs to be had with these kinds of plans that most people won't give them right away, and the INTJ's patience for people who won't give that trust is non-existent. To put it simply, they would rather say bye-bye to you than to have to go through a ton of effort to explain every bit of their ideas and prove their validity to you. INFJs like to dive into other people's minds like a deep-sea exploration. There's something fascinating when you can talk to someone else without feeling limited in what you can talk about or how you express yourself. As such, INFJs are less likely to like people who are emotionally closed off or won't at least meet them in the middle of emotional expression. Like, sure, I get it. It's not always appropriate or even enjoyable to have excessively deep conversations all the time, but I'm just talking about like throwing the INFJ a bone. All right, here's an example. Imagine an INFJ is coming out of a movie theater with someone else and is like, dang, that movie was amazing. I was on an emotional roller coaster, like when the people said that thing, I was like crying. What did you think? And then the other person responds with, yeah, I liked it.
And that's it?
Probably won't be the type of person that an INFJ will be attracted to in the long run. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay cool and attractive.
They say strangers come to